ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा तदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः। नमो ब्राह्मण्याय देवाय गो ब्राह्मणहिताय च जगद्धिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। Today we will sing this Kirtan. Jai Radhe, Jai Krishna, Jai Vrindavana. From this Kirtan we can know about Gopeshwara. This today the section of Srimad Bhagavatam that we will be reading is about how Lord Shiva actually takes poison to protect the entire world. So this Kirtan specifically we can know about Lord Shiva Gopishwara in Vrindavan. So alongs the pastimes of the Supreme Lord in Vrindavan, how Lord Shiva is there as Gopeshwara. So we'll do this Kirtan first. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavana Sri Govinda Gopinada Madana Mohana Shama Kunda Radha Kunda कालिंदी जमुना जय जय महावन केशी घाट वंशीवट द्वादश कनाना जहाँ सब लीला कोइलो श्री नंदानंदन श्री नंदा यशोदा जय जय गोपगाना श्रीदामादि जय जय धेनुवत्सगाना जय वृषभानु जय क्षितिदा सुंदरी जय पौर्णमासी जय अभिरानगारी जय जय गोपीश्वरा वृंदावन माचा जय जय कृष्ण सखा बतु द्विजराजा जय राम घाटा जय रोहिणी नंदना जय जय वृंदावन बसी जत जाना जय द्विज पत्नी जय नाग कन्या गाना भक्ति तेजहारा पाइलो गोविंद चरणा श्री रास मंडला जय जय राधा श्याम जय जय रासा लीला सर्व मनोरमा जय जय ज्वाला रस सर्व रस सारा पराकीय भावे जहाँ व्रजते प्रचारा श्रीजानवपाद पद्म कोरिय स्मरण दीना कृष्ण दासा कोरि नाम संकीर्तना हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे We will read the translation. All glories to Radha and Krishna and the divine forest of Vrindavana. All glories to the three presiding deities of Vrindavana, Sri Govinda, Gopinatha, and Madana Mohan. All glories to Shamakunda, Radhakunda, Govardhana Hill, and the Yamuna river Kalindi. All glories to the great forest known as Mahavana, where Krishna and Balarama displayed all of their childhood pastimes. All glories to Keshi Gata, where Krishna killed the Keshi demon. All glories to the Vamsivata tree, where Krishna attracted all the gopis to come by playing his flute. Glories to all of the 12 forests of Vraja. All these places, the son of Nanda stays here. performed all of his pastimes. All glories to Krishna's divine father and mother, Nanda and Yashoda. All glories to the cowherd boys headed by Sridhama, the older brother of Srimati Radharani and Anangamanjari. All glories to the cows and calves of Vraja. All glories to Radha's divine father and mother Rishabhanu and the beautiful Kirtida. All glories to Paurnamasi, the mother of Sandipani Muni, grandmother of Madhumangala and Nandimukhi, and beloved disciple of Devashi Narada. All glories, Lord, to the young cowherd maidens of Raja. All glories to Gopishwara Shiva, who resides in Vrindavan in order to protect the holy Dhama. All glories to Krishna's funny Brahmana friend Madhumangala. All glories to Ramagata, where Lord Balram performed his Rasa dance. All glories to Lord Balram, the son of Rohini. All glories to all the residents of Vrindavana. All glories to the wives of the proud Vedic Brahmanas. All glories to the wives of the Kaliya serpent. Through pure devotion, they all obtained the lotus feet of Lord Govinda. All glories to the place where the Rasa dance of Sri Krishna was performed. All glories to Radha and Shama. All glories to the divine Rasa dance, which is the most beautiful of all Lord Krishna's pastimes. All glories to the mellow of the conjugal love, which is the most excellent of all rasas and is propagated in Raja by Sri Krishna in the form of the divine Parakya Bhava, paramour love. Remembering the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda's consort, Sri Janava Devi, this very fallen and lowly servant of Krishna sings the Sankirtan of the holy name. Now we'll start reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, so today we will be reading from the 8th canto, chapter 7. Okay, chapter 7, verses 17 onwards. Okay, uh, this particular chapter is titled Lord Shiva Saves the Universe by Drinking Poison. This is uh, So this is in description of the Leela, the pastime where the demons and the demigods and the demons are churning the milk of ocean to actually get nectar. So they are actually churning the milk ocean, and they are using the Mandara Parvat, the Mandara mountain, actually as the churning rod, and the Vasuki, serpent Vasuki, as the rope, the churning rope. So they're using the Vasuki serpent as the churning room. So in this Leela, we see when they first start churning and they are trying to churn, the Supreme Lord helps the demons and the demigods and the demons actually in the churning process. If we see, there are multiple places where the Lord himself steps in. Firstly, he actually tries to hold the head of the Vasuki serpent and tries to pull the you know the Vasuki serpent to churn the milk ocean. And but the demons then feel conflicted. They feel that uh, the head is more auspicious. We should be actually holding the head. So then the Lord says, "Okay, let us hold the tail," and the demigods follow his cue and they hold the tail. So they actually, the Lord protects um, demigods, because near the head of the serpent, as the Mandara mountain uh, was churning the milk ocean, the serpent Vasuki releases a lot of poisonous fumes. The nature of the snake, it releases poisonous fumes which are more severe during towards the head. So the Lord actually is helps the demigods by moving towards the tail, and hold the demigods hold the tail, looking at the Lord himself holding the tail of the Vasuki serpent. The second place where the Lord actually helps in this Leela is when he sees, um, as the churning happens on the churning rod or the Mandara mountain further sinks. It is not having any base or support to actually move and churn the ocean. So the Lord comes himself in Kurma Avtara as a tortoise, and he forms the base. And then on this base, the churning rod could be effectively moved. And as a result, the churning of the ocean happens. So this is the second way in which the Lord is helping the churning. And then um, the third way, the Lord enters himself into the demons in the mode of passion, as mode of passion, in Vasuki and as mode of ignorance, and in demigods as mode of goodness. The Lord himself enters in these modes to actually enable the this churning process. And when the demigods and demons finally are unable to churn, in spite of all this, the Lord actually steps in to churn. So that is the description so far. Uh, so far, what has happened, and now from the 17th verse, if we see this. Uh, we'll hear more about what happens next, after the Lord steps in and he begins to churn. Okay, can someone read the 17th verse? Hare Krishna. Would anyone like to read the 17th verse translation? Sorry, I meant the translation.
Yes. Can you display it? I mean, you can't see it on the screen.
Sorry.
Can you display it? You can't see it on the screen.
Oh, I'm sorry, Prabhuji. I wasn't aware. I thought I was sharing the same screen. I'm
Please
so
stand
sorry,
still.
Prabhuji.
Yeah. This is the translation of 17th shloka of Mataji. You want me to read? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, yes,
Translation of
Prabhuji.
Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord appeared like a blackish cloud. He was dressed with yellow garments. His earrings shone on his ears like lightning, and his hair spread over his shoulders. He wore a garland of flowers, and his eyes were pinkish. With his strong, glorious arms, which award fearlessness throughout the universe, he took hold of Vasuki and began churning the ocean, using the Mandara mountain as a churning rod. When engaged in this way, the Lord appeared like a beautifully situated mountain named Indranila. Indranila. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhuji. So, this is when the Lord finally steps in, right? The demigods and the demons, they tried everything to actually churn, but they after they kind of they are not able to churn, the Lord steps in, and this is a description of how the Lord looked when he was to churn the ocean, and it is such a beautiful description and very consistent, right? With the descriptions we have heard elsewhere in the various scriptures, including Srimad Bhagavatam, what is the complexion of the Lord, how is he dressed, how beautiful he is, how what a good looking form he has, what nice paraphernalia he has, the garlands, um, his lotus, the pinkish eyes that he has. So all this, there is a description of the Lord, and he, it's also mentioning very, um, in this verse particularly, there is a mention of how powerful the Lord is, right? He has very strong arms, and these arms and his protection is what can drive away fearlessness from the universe. So that is how strong the Lord is, and his arms are so powerful. And then he begins to churn the ocean, and when he is using the Mandara mountain as churning rod, the Lord is actually churning the milk ocean, and he himself is appearing like a beautiful mountain called Indranila. So that is how the Lord is appearing. Though he's churning with the help of a mountain, or he's using Mandara mountain, he himself looks very beautiful and glorious like a mountain called Indranila. Okay. So what happens when the Lord starts churning? Okay, we'll see in the next verse. 18, verse 18. Would someone like to read?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandak Pranam.
Then Rudra, please.
Maji, can I do the words also? If it's okay with
Sure,
you.
Mataji. Sure, Mataji. Yeah.
निर्मध्यमानादुदधेरभूद्विषं महोल्बणं हालहला त्वम् अग्रतः सम्भ्रान्तमीनोन्मकराहि कच्छपात् तिमिद्विपग्राहतिमिङ्गिलाकुलात्. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
10.
The fish, sharks, tortoises, and snakes are most agitated and perturbed. The entire ocean became turbulent, and even the large aquatic animals like whales, water elephants, crocodiles, and timingla fish, large whales that can swallow small whales, came to the surface. While the ocean was being churned in this way, it first produced a fiercely dangerous poison called halahala. Halahala. Hare Krishna.
So, so we see what when the Lord began to churn, so there is lot of agitation. All the sea creatures, they actually started to feel, right. So all of them, the ocean became turbulent. So the mighty Lord is actually churning. The ocean becomes turbulent, and all the sea creatures, all the aquatic animals, including the large, whales, the mingla fish, the sharks, and all these actually are getting agitated, and as a result they come to the surface. The whole idea behind the pastime was to actually bring out nectar, and while it was that is the end goal of the pastime, the first thing that came out as the milk ocean was churned was actually a very dangerous poison. It's called hala hala. So as the churning started, and all this turbulence is observed, and the sea creatures are also being disturbed, what came out first is a very dangerous poison, hala hala. So what we required is, or what was required was the nectar, but what came out was the hala hala. Next we see what is happening. Okay. Text 19, verse 19. Anyone wants to read the translation purport?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I'll read Mataji.
Sure, Mataji, thank you.
Translations and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Translation: O king, when that uncontrollable poison was forcefully spreading up and down in all directions, all the demigods, along with the Lord himself, approached Lord Shiva, Sadashiva. Feeling unsheltered and very much afraid, they sought shelter of him. Purport: one may question that since the Supreme Personality of Godhead was personally present, why did he accompany all the demigods and people in general to take shelter of Lord Sadashiv instead of intervening himself? In this connection, Srila Madhvacharya warns, Rudrasya yasyorthaya swayam vishnurvisham vibhu na sanjare samarthopi vayum choche prashantaye. Lord Vishnu was competent to rectify the situation, but in order to give credit to Lord Shiva, who later drank all the poison and kept in his neck, Lord Vishnu did not take any action. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
So the poison came out. So after the poison came out, it was a very dangerous poison, hala hala, kalakuta. It was a very dangerous poison. Now, when the poison started coming, it is like poison is like death personified. So it was coming as death to all, everyone present, everyone for the entire universe, for the entire world. It was like coming as death personified. So it was going in all directions. It was spreading. It was beginning to spread in all directions. And then the demigods and the Supreme Lord approached Lord Shiva. So they want to actually take shelter of Lord Shiva. So this is actually somewhere conflicting to the understanding we have as devotees, as the Supreme Lord is higher and he's everything. From him everything comes. And why the Supreme Lord is approaching Lord Shiva? So this is something which might come when we first read this verse. So the Supreme Lord, we have seen in the various pastimes how the Lord is actually capable of doing many, many things which are inconceivable. The Lord, we cannot understand or we cannot imagine, we can't fathom what all the Lord can do. Surely this is something the Lord can do. But there are his own reasons why he is also approaching Sadashiva, Lord Shiva, when the poison starts to come out in all directions. Um, Somewhere, even in the beginning of the pastime, we see how the Lord Himself steps up at various points for the churning of the ocean, for becoming the tortoise, for Himself guiding the demigods, and also entering as modes of the material modes. So all this, the Lord has stepped up in various parts of this pastime to help. So this is not something that the is beyond what the Lord can do. The Lord and the demigods approach Sadashiva, but to kind of deal with this situation when the poison is coming, it is because, as Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, the Lord does not intervene. And in this connection, Srila Madhvacharya is saying this is not this. We have to see that the Lord Himself is very competent to rectify the situation. Right? Everything comes from Him. He is the supreme controller. He can as well rectify and control everything. But the Lord wants to give credit to Lord Shiva because Lord Shiva takes the poison. He is for the welfare of everyone. Uh, Lord Shiva takes poison and he drinks the poison, right? So he's such a great personality, and to give him credit, give him due credit, the Supreme Lord also, along with the demigods, approach him, right? So it is it is it is also it is in a way reflecting one of the opulence of the Supreme Lord. The Lord is full in renunciation. So he's not looking. The Lord does not need to have or get the credit of even controlling and actually taking the poison or stopping the poison. He does not need to take the credit, or he does not need any kind of recognition. So he's full in renunciation. And then the Lord is always more happy when his devotees are glorified. Lord Shiva is greatest of Vaishnavas. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu. So Lord Shiva is the greatest of Vaishnavas, and for greatest of Vaishnavas to be glorified, the Supreme Lord Himself actually is going and asking him, to take care of the situation. And Krishna is always happy when his devotees are glorified. He is not looking for his own glorification. He doesn't need that, anyways. So he's the Lord is very happy. We can see this from the example of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada also he established the International Society of Krishna Consciousness. He people were called as Hare Krishnas. They said ISKCON. They said Hare Krishnas. But no one took the movement with the name of Srila Prabhupada. In this world, there are many uh, so-called religious philosophies which after the name of the Acharya. Even yoga, for example, if we say Iyengar yoga, if we see, is name of the Acharya, Iyengar. So like that, the name of Acharya, many systems, religious systems these days follow the name of their Acharyas. But Srila Prabhupada himself, he never wanted anything to be said after him, or it doesn't come as Srila Prabhupada's movement. It comes as the ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Krishna is at the center. So he always looked. Uh, so the devotees also don't require glorification. They themselves they want Krishna to be glorified, right? And always Srila Prabhupada used to say, whatever I am able to do or whatever is being done is because of the mercy of my spiritual master. So then also Srila Prabhupada was not taking any credit for whatever was being done to the scale and magnitude that the Krishna consciousness was spread to the West. Srila Prabhupada never takes credit for that, right? So that is the glory of devotees. And many places we can also see how Krishna tries to glorify devotees. In Bhagavad Gita also, in chapter 11, it is said that Krishna says that it is said that already all the people who were killed in the battlefield were already killed by Krishna. Okay, but he wants Arjuna to kill them as seen by the world to give credit to Arjuna. It is only to kind of glorify Arjuna. Krishna says the credit should go to Arjuna and Yudhishthira Maharaj. So that is why he is actually empowering them to kill these people in the battlefield. So these are the kind of the pastimes of the Lord, where the Lord gives lot of prominence to his devotees, right? And Lord Shiva is now is given prominence in the coming few verses. We have to understand this is the glorification of devotee as desired by the Lord, and the glorification of devotee is never independent of glorification of the Lord, right? So glorification of a disciple is never independent of glorification of his spiritual master and the Supreme Lord. Similarly, glorification of devotee is never independent of glorification of the Supreme Lord. So when we glorify Lord Shiva in the next verses, we have to understand it is not independent of glorification of the Lord, because everything comes from the Supreme Lord. All the powers and everything come from the Supreme Lord. So when we glorify someone, it is when we for their abilities, we are glorifying the source of where it comes from, right? So that is the reason, that is what we have to understand. So it is the next few verses also look very conflicting, because of the nature of glorification that is presented, right? It is it somewhere it is it we say, when we say the 10 offenses to the holy names, we say that Lord Shiva should not be taken equal to the name of Lord Vishnu. It is an offense. Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma's name should not be taken equal. So that provides some kind of a conflict when the kind of glorification of Lord Shiva is done here. But His Holiness Rupa Maharaj says, for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, there are two things very complex. One is to understand the position of Lord Shiva, and they understand the second thing to understand is the position of a guru. So these two are quite complex to understand, and it actually sometimes seems very conflicting. It seems very conflicting to understand the position of Lord Shiva, the position of Guru as such. So Brahma Samhita says that Supreme Lord and Lord Shiva are like milk and yogurt, right? Milk and curd. So milk can transform to yogurt, all right? And the Supreme Lord is milk. The he can take the form of Lord. He is Lord Shiva is the Shakti Avesh avatar of uh, of the Supreme Lord. So the yogurt comes from the milk, but the milk cannot come from yogurt. So this is the understanding. So yogurt is coming from milk, and coming to specifically the position of Lord Shiva, the Supreme Soul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, actually empowers different individuals, and based on the responsibilities they are assigned, they are empowered. And to the level of empowerment, they have various qualities. There are certain qualities. So, and they come under certain tattva. So, if we have to understand Lord Shiva, he has certain qualities which are higher than even Lord Brahma, which and these qualities are given for him to execute his duties in this material realm, right? So, and he is actually not a jiva tattva. His tattva is above living entities, so he's not jiva tattva. At the same time, he's not God. He is actually an incarnation of the Supreme Lord with certain qualities, right? And so that is the understanding, of the position of Lord Shiva. And then Lord Shiva is again, Sada Shiva is actually an incarnation of Shakti Avesh avatar of the Supreme Lord. His expansion, Shiva, is actually a Shiva Tattva. So Sada Shiva is also Vishnu Tattva, but when we speak of his expansion, Lord Shiva, again, lesser number of qualities than Sada Shiva himself, Shiva actually comes into Shiva Tattva. So that is how we have to understand. But neither Sadashiva nor Lord Shiva are in the Jiva Tattva, or these are not positions to be filled like other demigods. The positions are being filled. That is not how it is. And then here, before we go on reading the next verses, though Lord Shiva is glorified by everyone, the Prajapatis and everyone, he is glorified. Lord Shiva himself says in many places in Srimad Bhagavatam about his position. One such reference we see in the fourth canto, third chapter and 12th chapter, where Lord Shiva tells Sati Devi that he is in constant meditation of the Supreme Lord. He is remembering Vasudeva constantly. He is meditating on Vasudeva, right? And also, uh, though whatever um, Lord Shiva is not perturbed, however, things are, even when Daksha kind of insulted him, it does not actually perturb him. Since he's always engaged in Krishna consciousness, in meditating on Vasudeva. In 8th canto, when everyone is bewildered, he's bewildered by Mohini Murti. The Supreme Lord Shiva is again praying to Krishna, right? He's praying to the Krishna, praying to Krishna, and he's saying Krishna is the cause of all causes. He is the source of everything. So we have in Srimad Bhagavatam itself references as to how Lord Shiva is telling he is worshipping Krishna or he is meditating on Krishna, right? So any glorification or any praise to Lord Shiva are actually praising the Supreme Lord, because that is where he draws all his powers, right? Um, this is actually many ways one has to. Lord Shiva is actually also telling us that how someone, all the other demigods and everyone are praising someone as elevated Vaishnava as he is also engaging constantly in meditation of the Supreme Lord. So this is the understanding. Let's move on to the next text. Text number 20. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji, and Pranam.
All
glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. The demigods observed Lord Shiva sitting on the summit of Kailasa hill with his wife Bhavani for the auspicious development of the three worlds. He was being worshipped by great saintly persons desiring liberation. The demigods offered him their obeisances and prayers with great respect. Haribol Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So then they all approach Lord Shiva, and then they see him and on Kailasha hill, and along with his consort Bhavani, and then they are there, and then now everyone is worshipping them. The demigods also offer their obeisances and prayers, right? So when all these prayers, obeisances are offered to Lord Shiva, as we said, as we discussed earlier, these are not directly to Lord Shiva. These are to the source from where Lord Shiva derives all his powers, right? So, and so here, actually, we can see from the Shikshashtakam prayers how actually one should be humble than a blade of grass, right? One should be humble than a blade of grass. Then only one can actually take to holy names. So that is the position of all devotees. But however, in material world, we see people take credit for the work they do. Whatever visible work that is there and the work that is done, they take credit for the work that is being done. But in spiritual world, that is not the case. In spiritual world, devotees or devotees are actually engaged in pleasing and praising the Lord and His devotees. They do not wish to keep any credit to themselves. In this context, there is actually one narration about a disciple of Sri Ramanujacharya. So this disciple of Ramanujacharya, Sri Ramanujacharya, was actually being praised for all that he was being praised. And then when he was being praised, he continued to receive the praise. And then he was feeling more and more happy listening to the praise. This was little surprising because this is not the normal behavior of devotees to actually be uh, happy when glorified or take all the praise. Then the disciple says, I feel so happy. I feel so happy to hear you all praise, because this praise is actually not belonging to me. This belongs to my spiritual master, because this glorification is of my spiritual master. uh, it is not anyway, it does not belong to me. So it feels so good to hear you all praise, because to hear the glorification of my spiritual master is so nice. It is so nice when someone glorifies my spiritual master. So that is how the disciple of Sri Ramanujacharya was feeling very happy when he was glorified. So that is the mood of a devotee, that is the mood of a sadhaka devotee, to actually take all the glorification for the spiritual master, for the Guru, for Krishna, and none for them. Um, In this context, I heard once Her Grace Nitaiseni Mataji said, when we keep the praise, when we keep the glorification and appreciation to ourselves for the service that is done, it actually kind of brings in pride in us. So, for devotees to check pride, the best way is to, whenever you need, get appreciation, whenever you're glorified, you're praised, take that appreciation and pass on to your spiritual master. And when we pass on to the spiritual master, and from there it goes back to Krishna, right? So all that, because Krishna is the source, all our abilities and whatever we are given to do service is actually coming from Krishna, right? So we see in the example of Arjuna, how Arjuna, he killed so many powerful, very, very powerful warriors who never knew defeat. Such powerful warriors on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna killed. But the same Arjuna, after Krishna left, after the empowerment was lost, while trying to protect the queens, he actually was defeated by a group of cowherds, right? So that is how the power comes from Krishna. They're empowered by Krishna to do the services that are given. So this is one extreme where people, where devotees, sadhaka devotees, should not take credit for themselves after successfully executing the service. On the other hand, when the devotee, the sadhaka devotee or a practicing devotee is feeling very low in confidence on one's own abilities as to how a particular service or task is assigned to him, how he will be able to perform, fully aware, fully cognizant of his shortcomings and his abilities, when the devotee is feeling very, very low to carry out the service, the devotee should remember that his strength is derived from the words of his spiritual master. His strength is derived from the words of the spiritual authority who is giving the service. His strength is derived from Krishna. हमारे पीछे भगवान कृष्ण है, who is behind us. भगवान स्वयं भगवान है. So we are protected, or our strength comes from Krishna himself, from the strength of the words of our spiritual master, comes from the strength of the words of our Siksha Guru, who is actually the representative of our spiritual master. So that is where our strength comes from. So one should, whatever service is given, one should definitely endeavor, seek guidance, not be overwhelmed with one's own shortcomings or abilities. So that is one thing that we have to understand. The other thing in the context of humbleness for a Gaudiya Vaishnava is that since our abilities, our strength and our abilities are there to serve Krishna and they come from the Supreme Lord, then we are humble at the same time. We don't lack confidence. Okay, we are humble, but we don't lack confidence. So sometimes there's a fine line that devotees should not see themselves as as people who lack confidence, nor should the outer world perceive devotees as people who lack confidence. Right? Devotees certainly are confident people, and then, but at the same time, they understand, they are fully aware that everything they do and all the abilities, all the strength they derive is from the Supreme Lord. Srila Prabhupada, we see this from the example of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada says very firmly in many places the glories of the books he has written, right? The purpose and the books, that literature that were written, he says very confidently, he says that, my books will actually help spreading Krishna consciousness for the next 10,000 years. That is how confidently he says. At the same time, at another place, Srila Prabhupada says, this is not my writing. This is all what Krishna has made me write. I am not the person who has written all this. right? So that is why I'm also hearing, I'm also reading, because this is what Krishna has made me write. So that is the glory. That is how a devotee should think, right? So the humility is understanding truly that we are very insignificant. We are very, very small compared to everything else, and the Supreme Lord in Himself, and all that we derive from the Supreme Lord. And then also how devotees are empowered, right? They are empowered, or their mercy is given to them to achieve a certain task, right? Srila Prabhupada was once asked by his disciple, Srila Prabhupada, you say that you were asked to go to West and preach and spread Krishna consciousness. Were the acharyas before you not could not do this, or is it that only you can do? He was asked something in this line, in this context. He was asked. Srila Prabhupada says, the acharyas before me were very much, and they can all also spread Krishna consciousness, as taking Krishna consciousness to West and others, preaching activities and other activities, but they want to glorify us, and they left that service to us. They gave that service to us to glorify us, and they are empowering us to do it. It is not that it cannot be accomplished by them, right? So that is how we have to understand. So whatever service comes is actually somewhere, even the devotees, the Supreme Lord is actually wanting to glorify his devotees. We should not probably take that credit, and we should not take that appreciation for ourselves, but that is coming through the will of the Lord. That glorification is coming through the will of the Lord. Okay. We'll continue reading text 21. Can someone read?
Shall I read, Mataji?
Please.
Hare Krishna. Text 21, translation. The Prajapati said, O greatest of all demigods, Mahadev, supersoul of all living entities and cause of their happiness and prosperity, we have come to the shelter of your lotus feet. Now, please save us from this fiery poison which is spreading all over the three worlds. Purport. Since Lord Shiva is in charge of annihilation, why should he be approached for protection, which is given by Lord Vishnu? Lord Brahma creates and Lord Shiva annihilates, but both Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are incarnations of Lord Vishnu and are known as Sattavesha avatars. They are endowed with a special power like that of Lord Vishnu, who is actually all pervading in their activities. Therefore, whenever prayers for protection are offered to Lord Shiva, actually Lord Vishnu is indicated, for otherwise Lord Shiva is meant for destruction. Lord Shiva is one of the Ishvaras or the controllers known as Shaktavesha avatars. Therefore, he can be addressed as having the qualities of Lord Vishnu. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna. So here, specifically, they say your cause of your super soul of all living entities, cause of their happiness and prosperity. We have come to the shelter of your lotus feet. Now, please save us from this fiery poison which is spreading all over the three worlds. So, these are generally, this is how the Supreme Lord is referred. But since we are seeking protection, uh, the Supreme Lord is the one who can protect us. It can be Lord Shiva who actually steps up to actually do that. But the protection comes from the Supreme Lord. So in this context, while I was thinking, I just remember my days as a child. at home, my father was the breadwinner. He used to work, he used to earn, and my mother was a homemaker. Whenever we needed something to buy for stationery, for anything, my mother was the person who used to give us money. She was the person who used to say, we used to tell her, you are the one who can, like, not literally like this, but our kind of thinking was, my mother is the person who can give us the money. She is, if some requirement is there from school, she is the person who can give money. Some requirement is there at school, she is the person who can come to the PTM. She is the person who can do things. So we saw her more. We saw her more often as homemaker, and we saw her taking decisions. We saw her doing things as children. But if we contemplate, if we think in detail, right? So where does it all come from? It comes from my father. My father brought the salary. For the decisions also, my mother understood, like, as a family, how we have to carry out. So the understanding was established between them, and that's how she is able to take those decisions on various aspects in his absence. And everything that for us, we saw her as, someone who did everything, who was there always. But everything was derived from my father, though he was busy with his work or whatever, but it was derived from him. Similarly, where everyone gets their strength, Lord Shiva gets, even if he's taking and assuming a protector role in this material world, this is generally the realm of Lord Shiva and Ma Parvati. So they are in this material world, just as my mother was the um, uh, like a controller at home. In this material world, they in this material realm, they are there and they are the protector. But when we ask for protection, we have to understand the protection itself comes from the Supreme Lord, right? So since Lord Shiva is taking the role of protector, and uh, he's actually addressed, or he's attributed to some of the qualities of the Supreme Lord. Okay, so that is what we have to understand when the qualities of the Supreme Lord are taken in context with Lord Shiva. Okay, so yeah, similar kind of glorification of Lord Shiva is continuing. Yeah, in verse 22. Request someone to read.
Can I do Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, please, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, please read.
Can I do the verse also if you don't mind?
Sure, Mataji, sure.
त्वम् एकः सर्वजगत ईश्वरो बन्धमोक्षयो तं त्वाम् अर्चन्ति कुशला प्रपन्नाति हरं गुरुम्. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O Lord, you are the cause of bondage and liberation of the entire universe, because you are its ruler. Those who are advanced in spiritual consciousness surrender unto you, and therefore you are the cause of mitigating their distresses, and you are also the cause of their liberation. We therefore worship your Lordship. Purport. Actually, Lord Vishnu maintains and accomplishes all good fortune. If one has to take shelter of Lord Vishnu, why should the demigods take shelter of Lord Shiva? They did so because Lord Vishnu acts through Lord Shiva in the creation of the material world. Lord Shiva acts on behalf of Lord Vishnu. When the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 14.4 that he is the father of all living entities, Aham Bija Pradapita, this refers to actions performed by Lord Vishnu through Lord Shiva. Lord Vishnu is always unattached to material activities, and when material activities are to be performed, Lord Vishnu performs them through Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is therefore worshipped on the level of Lord Vishnu. When Lord Vishnu is untouched by the external energy, he is Lord Vishnu, but when he is in touch with the external energy, he appears in his feature as Lord Shiva. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada is actually bringing in the clarity in this purport And though the glorification of Lord Shiva is done like of that of the Supreme Lord, Srila Prabhupada is bringing the clarity. He says, in this material realm, he appears as his feature as in his feature as Lord Shiva. The Supreme Lord himself appears in his feature as Lord Shiva. Earlier in the purport, Srila Prabhupada also says that he is Shakti Avesh Avatar. Okay, so this is the understanding we should have for anyone. That is why they say knowledge should come in disciplic succession. If you're not receiving knowledge in disciplic successions, in not in the way where how the acharyas are explaining, it is highly likely for anyone who reads these verses out of context to assume otherwise, to assume the position of Lord Shiva in a wrong way, where he himself says in various places in Srimad Bhagavatam his position as someone who's worshipping Vasudeva. So it is that is why knowledge has to come in disciplic succession and understood in the right way through the through what acharyas explain. And then Srila Prabhupada himself is the founder acharya Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada is explaining that whatever is to be done in this material realm is done in his feature as Lord Shiva. So that is how we have to understand, right? And this is and coming to the aspect of how all the demigods and everyone is approaching Lord Shiva. Just we have to understand um, what happens, right? So the demigods, they are generally they have a lot of abilities, so they might not directly perceive or understand that everything comes from Krishna. The tendency is that they can be caught in the activities, and they might also seek some glorification for themselves. Sometimes, like we saw um, in the Govardhan Leela, what happens to Indradev. So this can happen with the demigods. The demons, on the other hand, are they don't believe in God, and they also put efforts to actually for others not to believe in God. So they are that kind of that category of beings that एक तो खुद विश्वास नहीं करते और they'll try that others also don't believe in God or their faith is not there, right? But for anyone who is in lot of trouble like crisis, they also seek protection. We see even for the demigods, uh, there is they're seeking protection. At this point, they also see the need for protection. In this context, His Holiness Arunachal Maharaj says, when one is in a foxhole, they will definitely seek protection. Foxhole is a term used in a war wherein a trench is dug, and in that trench or in that hole, people are hiding, and they just sometimes they appear outside, they shoot or they kind of engage in warfare, and again to protect themselves, they come into this foxhole. In that kind of situation, even an atheist will be looking for some kind of protection. They might not give a name or they might not say it is God, but they are seeking protection because all that they believe can be done from their abilities and their endeavor, that is no longer there. So even an atheist can starts to believe on external protection in a foxhole, and then we are actually crying out for protection. They are crying out for protection. For devotees, we have to contemplate how much we are actually crying out for that protection from the Supreme Lord. It is not when we are faced with crisis that we seek protection or seek shelter. Our endeavor should be that we are constantly crying for that protection. We're constantly crying for that shelter of the Supreme Lord. Say lot of times we see that um, people, different people in this world are actually enjoying a lot of luxuries, comfort, and they are like getting all things for sense gratification. They have lots of means for sense gratification. But when we see devotees, they are going through struggles, they're going hard through hardships, health, wealth, otherwise, there are a lot of hardships they are facing. Um, in this context, Maharaj says that Krishna says to Yudhishthir that if I want to be kind to someone, I give them something they ask for. Right? The Lord is kind. When someone asks for something, the Lord gives them. He sanctions that. But if I want to show more kindness, I take away everything from them. Okay, so that is how the devotees should see adversity as. When the Lord wants to show more of His kindness, adversity comes wherein we have to cry, we have to take shelter, and we have to remember that except Krishna there is no one else can protect me. मेरा और कोई है नहीं, बस भगवान आप ही हो, मेरा और कोई नहीं है. So this is what the devotee should always think, and in the face of adversity, this is more. That is why Kunti Maharani says, "Give me more and more adversities, so that you are with us. We are in remembrance of you." So that is so very true. That adversities actually help us to cry for the shelter of the Lord, and then, but also when Krishna says, I take away, when I want to be more kind and I want to give more mercy, then that is the time I take away everything from them. From my devotees, I take away everything. So we have to understand what Krishna takes away is little, what he can give is everything. Right? What I have, or what devotee can have, what anyone can have, is very little, and that too it is coming from Krishna itself. It is very little compared to what Krishna has. That little he's actually taking away. That little only he's taking away, and what you get in return is Krishna himself. And there is no comparison to what Krishna is. Right? So, in return to giving little what we have, right? Little money for Krishna, little donation for Krishna, little service for Krishna, little abilities for Krishna. All these are very little. They're insignificant. They're really insignificant to what the source can be, right? To what Krishna can have. He just takes that little, and then in return he gives himself. Krishna gives himself. So that is the amount of what one gets, in this path of devotional service, and the mercy when everything is taken away. And devotee also has lot full faith. He comes from this thought process that everything is coming from Krishna, and whatever the Lord does is for my good. The Lord is the controller. He does only things which are good for me. The Lord is a well-wisher, He is the controller, He is my eternal Father. Whatever He does, it is for my own well-being. Okay, so that is the faith the devotee should have. Okay, we'll go on to read the next verse. Can someone read the translation and token, please?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
And purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. O Lord, you are self-effulgent and supreme. You create this material world by your personal energy, and you assume the names Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara when you act in creation, maintenance, and annihilation. Purport. This prayer is actually offered to Lord Vishnu, the Purusha, who is his incarnations as the Guna avatars, assumes the names Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So further, they are prayers, but these are prayers again, as we said, in context are prayers to Lord Vishnu. That is what Srila Prabhupada is confirming in the purport, that these are prayers to Lord Vishnu because he takes the forms, or his avatars come to do the activities linked to creation, maintenance, and annihilation. So that is how it is. This is a prayer to the Supreme Lord. Okay, we'll go on. Yeah. Some more prayers which are more directed to the Supreme Lord, but they are prayers which the Prajapatis are saying to Lord Shiva. Okay, can someone please read?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam.
Dhanvat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Okay, shall I read the translation, Mataji? Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. You are the cause of all causes, the self-effulgent, inconceivable, impersonal Brahma, which is originally Parabrahmam. You manifest various potencies in the consummate manifestation. Purport. The purport is offered to the impersonal Brahman, which consists of effulgent rays of Parabrahman. Parabrahman is the supreme person of the Godhead. Param, Brahma, Param, Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavam. When the Lord Shiva is worshipped as Parabrahman, the worship is meant for Lord Vishnu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada further clarifies, there is no doubt, no any kind of conflict or any kind of misunderstanding is allowed here. Srila Prabhupada is clearly clarifying whatever the prayers might be, right? So these prayers are for the Supreme Lord because he is in his impersonal feature, he is the Parabrahma, and the effulgence, the Brahmajyoti effulgence, and everything is about the Supreme Lord. So even if Lord Shiva is worshipped as Parabrahman, this worship is only meant for Lord Vishnu. So Srila Prabhupada is clarifying again, once again, when the prayers are going in a way that they are glorifying the Supreme Lord, one should not have doubt. So though they are addressed to Lord Shiva, it is they are actually the originally they are for the Supreme Lord. Okay, next translation. Can someone please read?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I'll read.
Hare Krishna.
Translation. O Lord, you are the original source of Vedic literature. You are the original cause of material creation, the life force, the senses, the five elements, the three modes, and the Mahatattva. You are eternal time, determination, and the two religious systems called truth, Satya, and truthfulness, Rita. You are the shelter of the syllable Om, which consists of three letters Om.
So again, this is again glorification. Again, we can see this is all addressed to the Supreme Lord. And many places we say the Supreme Lord is a Kala, eternal time, right? So, and also the Supreme Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, I am Om, right? I'm syllable Om. So all this is undoubtedly, it is not, um, to be understood as glorification of the Supreme Lord, as the Supreme Lord appears in his feature in this material world as Lord Shiva. Okay. So that is why this is all to do with the Supreme Lord. Okay, we continue. Yeah. Translation purport, please read.
Okay, I'll read Mataji.
Sure, Mataji.
Translation. O Father of all planets, learned scholars, know that fire is your mouth. The surface of the globe is your lotus feet. Eternal time is your movement. All the directions are your ears, and Varuna, master of waters, is your tongue. Purport. In the Shruti mantras, it is said, Agnihi Sarva Devataha. Fire is the aggregate of all demigods. Agni is the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is through Agni or fire that the Lord accepts all sacrificial oblations. Krishna.
Okay. Further, whatever is said that about being fire being the mouth, The globe is the lotus feet, and time, eternal time is your movement. All directions are your ears, and Varuna is the master of waters, is your tongue. So all this again is description of the Supreme Lord Himself. So this is further to say that, and this is also confirmed in the Shruti mantras. That is what Srila Prabhupada is saying. Shruti mantras itself, it is say Agni Sarvadev. The fire is the aggregate of all demigods, and that is the mouth of the Supreme Lord. Right. So this is again glorification of the Supreme Lord. Uh, yeah. Continue text 27. There is further description of the Supreme Lord and glorification of the Supreme Lord. Can someone please read?
I can read Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Translation. Hare Krishna. O Lord, the sky is your navel, the air is your breathing, the sun is your eyes, and the water is your semen. You are the shelter of all kinds of living entities, high and low. The god of the moon is your mind. The god of the moon is your mind. Okay. And the upper planetary system is your head. Hare Krishna. Very nice.
So how the Lord is described, uh, how his navel is, how his breathing is, eyes, semen. He is the shelter of everyone, irrespective of who that living entity is, right? He's shelter for everyone, and how what is even the god of the moon is the mind. The upper planetary system is your head. So all this is a description of the Supreme Lord. That is, and this is how um, one is glorifying the Supreme Lord, right? Okay, we'll continue. Text 28. More glorification.
Okay. Shall I continue, Mataji?
Yes, please.
Okay. O Lord, you are the three Vedas personified. The seven seas are your abdomen. The mountains are your bones. All drugs, creepers, and vegetables are the heads of your body. The Vedic mantras like Gayatri are the seven layers of your body. And the Vedic religion system is core of your heart.
Hmm.
Hare Krishna.
So more and more descriptions. So we saw the upper planetary um, systems, and then now the description of the rest of the parts, right? And the Lord is himself a personification of Vedas. His abdomen, and how his bones are, and hairs, the layers of the body, and how the religious system forms the core of the Supreme Lord. So all this is further description about the Lord. Okay, we'll continue. Text 29. Can
Okay.
someone please read it?
Okay. I will continue, Mataji.
Sure,
It's no
Guru.
problem. Okay. O Lord, the five important Vedic mantras are represented in your five faces, for which the 38 most celebrated Vedic mantras have been generated. Your Lordship being celebrated as a Lord Shiva is a self-illuminated. You are directly situated in a as the supreme truth, known as Paramatma, purport. The five mantras mentioned in this connection are as follows: 1. Purusha, 2. Aghora, 3. Okay, Sadhyojita, 4. Vasudeva, 5. Ishana. These five mantras are within the category of 38 special Vedic mantras chanted by the Lord Shiva, who is therefore celebrated as Shiva or Mahadeva. Another reason why Lord Shiva is called Shiva, which means all auspicious, is that he is self-illuminated, exactly like Lord Vishnu, who is Paramatma. Because the Lord Shiva is directly an incarnation of Lord Vishnu, he is situated as the Lord Vishnu direct representative. This fact is collabor- This fact is corroborated as Vedic mantra Patim Visva Visvasmeva Swaram, okay, Sasvatam Shivam Achyutam. The Supreme Soul is called many names, of which Maheshwara, Shiva, Achyuta are especially mentioned. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, here again, actually, in the Vedic mantras, there are about 38 different mantras that are there. In this purport specifically, in this verse specifically, 5 important Vedic mantras are being described. Again, this verse is saying that um, as Lord Shiva is illuminated, or he is having that effulgence as representative of the Supreme Lord, right? And here, again, he said he's situated as Supreme Truth, Paramatma, because as we said, he is the representative of Lord Vishnu. So the 5 mantras, there are 38 mantras, wherein the Lord Shiva is celebrated. And out of those 38, these 5 are mentioned here. And there are more. In the next verses, we will see, I think there is also a mention of those 38 different mantras that are used to celebrate or that are used to glorify Lord Shiva. And then, but still, towards the end of the puppet, it is said that um, he is the position of Lord Shiva is as representative, and all the effulgence and all the abilities and all the qualities are from the Supreme Lord. That is why sometimes um, he he is all called as Maheshwara, Shiva, Achyuta, like interchangeable. So sometimes we say in Telugu there's a famous saying, Shivurage lekka chivena kadaldu ani. That is true. That is to show the position of Lord Shiva as a controller, but the control or the all those powers and those responsibilities come from the Supreme Lord, and it is the Supreme Lord Himself as an incarnation, right? We continue. Next translation, verse 30.
So, Chaudhary Mataji. Translation. O Lord, your shadow is seen in religion, which brings about varieties of religion creation. The 3 modes of nature, goddess, passion, and ignorance, as you are the 3 eyes. All the Vedic literatures, which are full of verses, are emanation from you because their compilers wrote the various scriptures after receiving your glance. Right.
So where in this verse, where irreligion is there, right? So irreligion also is actually somewhere deriving the source from the shadow of the Lord, and various irreligious creatures, and then the modes of ignorance, passion and goodness, and all the literature also comes because of the glance of the Lord, right? So this is how after describing uh, the various parts of the Lord, how the scriptures are actually coming, how even irreligion is coming. What is the source of everything, right? So the source of everything is Krishna. So this is what we have to understand. Verse 31. Yeah. Translation and purpose. Can someone please read?
Hare Krishna Mataji Dandavarana. Shall I read?
Please, Mataji.
Translation. O Lord Girisha, since the impersonal Brahman effulgence is transcendental to the material modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance, the various directors of this material world certainly can't appreciate it or even know where it is. It is not understandable even to Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, or the King of Heaven, Mahendra. Purport. The Brahmajyoti is actually the effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in Brahma Samhita 5.40, Yasya Prabha प्रभावतो जगतन्दकोटि कोटिश्व वसुधादि विभूतिभिन्नं तद्ब्रह्म निष्कलम् अनन्तमशेषभूतं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is endowed with great power. The glowing effulgence of his transcendental form is the impersonal Brahman, which is absolute, complete, and unlimited, and which displays the varieties of countless planets, with their different opulences in millions and millions of universes. Although the impersonal feature of the absolute is an expansion of the race of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he doesn't need to take care of the impersonal race who enter Brahmajyoti. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9.4, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagatavyakta murtina. In my impersonal feature, I pervade this entire universe. Thus, the Avyakta Murti, the impersonal feature, is certainly an expansion of Krishna's energy. Mayavadis who prefer to merge into this Brahman effulgence worship Lord Shiva. The mantras referred to in text 29 are called Mukani Panikopanishads Tavisha. Mayavadis take all these mantras seriously in worshipping Lord Shiva. These mantras are as follows. Tatpurusha Vidamahe Shantaye Mahadevaya Dhimahi Vidyaye Tanno
It's
Rudra
okay.
Pratishtaya. Yeah.
Yeah, Mataji, it's okay. We can
Prachodayat
let this. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Mataji,
Mataji.
we can let these mantras be, Mataji. It will be very difficult. As I said, there are 38 mantras that are mentioned here in the purport. So the Supreme Lord is telling that he is actually coming in his impersonal feature as Brahman, and lot of practitioners, they try to merge with the impersonal Brahman, but when they merge into the impersonal Brahman, they are not in the care of the Supreme Lord. Here Srila Prabhupada is saying these Mayavadis who try to merge into the impersonal Brahman, they're actually worshipping Lord Shiva, and then but the Supreme Lord himself is present in his impersonal feature. He pervades in his impersonal feature. That is what is there said in Bhagavad Gita. And then these are worshipping Lord Shiva with the Mukhani Panchopanishad, this Tvavesha. So this is these are the in the previous in one of the earlier verse we had five mantras glorifying Lord Shiva, and then now here we see there is a list. Srila Prabhupada is giving the list of all the 38 mantras that were mentioned, and then these are the glorification of this Lord Shiva in the duties that Lord Shiva is executing. Please continue reading from here, the impersonal Brahman. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
sorry, Prabhuji. I am on mute. Okay. The impersonal Brahman is unknown even to the other directors of the material creation, including Lord Brahma, Lord Indra, and even Lord Vishnu. This doesn't mean, however, that Lord Vishnu is not omniscient. Lord Vishnu is omniscient, but he doesn't need to understand what is going on in his all pervading expansion. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that although everything is an expansion of him, Maya tadam idam sarvam. He doesn't need to take care of everything. Na chaham tesh avastitaha. Since there are various directors like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Indra.
Yeah. So in this verse specifically, it is said, Lord is not understand. The impersonal Brahman is not understood by Lord Brahma, Lord Indra, and Lord Vishnu. Srila Prabhupada is actually making a clarification here as to why it is not understood by Lord Vishnu, because Vishnu is again the Supreme Personality, so he is present everywhere. It is not understandable because that is not in the purview, or that is not required, maybe it's not needed, so it is not understood by Lord Vishnu. That is how we should understand it. Because suppose if we take an organization, there is the founder, there is CEO, there is the director. At a very low level, the decisions that are being taken in the operations or in the HR department or some places, especially the very non-critical functions, the CEO or the director does not have direct visibility. What they see is at a high level, something is accomplished, some metrics are being achieved. So that is what they see. So at lower level, they need not understand, and it happens. It happens quite automatically. So, and then there are people to take care of it. So similarly here, their responsibilities, the demigods are there who are responsible for various activities. Lord Vishnu himself may not have that understanding. That is what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning. We move on to text 32. Yeah, translation. Can someone please read?
Shall I continue, Mataji? If nobody reads.
Please, Mataji, please.
Yeah. Translation. When annihilation is performed by the flames and sparks emanating from your eyes, the entire creation is burned to ashes. Nonetheless, you do not know how this happens. What then is to be said of your destroying the Daksha Yajna, Tripurasura, and the Kalakuta poison? Such activities can't be subject matters for prayers offered to you. Purport. Since Lord Shiva considers the great acts he performs to be very unimportant, what was to be said of counteracting the strong poison produced by the churning? The demigods indirectly prayed that Lord Shiva counteract the Kalakuta poison which was spreading throughout the universe. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So here now the further the prayers are going. So everything happens, whatever annihilation Lord Shiva is carrying out, it is actually carrying out under, as we said, it's as it is said by Shastras, it is under the what to say, it is because the Lord has empowered him to do, right? So whatever glorious acts are there, even then, uh, one he is not expecting glorification. Lord Shiva is not expecting glorification or praise in this context, but and also he's actually. It says we can understand from this verse. It says that he's not anyway the source of it, so these are not subject matters of prayers offered to you, to Lord Shiva in particular, but only as a representative of the Lord and as an avatar, he is receiving these prayers and this glorification. And then Lord Shiva does glorious things, like, right? He does glorious things of destroying the Daksha Yagya, destroying the pride of Daksha. He does glorious act of killing the Triprasura demon. He also takes in the Kalakuta Visha, the halahala poison that comes out of the churning of the milk ocean. And we'll see through that in the next verses. But in spite of all these things, uh, he- it is said that he's not. This is not something that he is expecting glorification, or it is not something that he is glorified, because all the glorification is to the Supreme Lord. Okay. So text 33. Translation.
Can I do the words, Mataji?
Please, please. Mataji. Sure, Mataji.
हृदि चिंतिता ही द्वंद्व चरण
इसमें होता है ना लहसुन पर पूछो सर में नहीं सर में नॉर्मली देखा डब्बा में तो डालता हूं इसलिए मतलब डब्बा में ठीक है छोड़ दो चलो बात की बात
Yeah, everybody was unmuted. I think translation has purport by Srila
If someone is on unmute, please mute yourself. Thank you.
Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Exalted, self-satisfied persons who preach to the entire world think of lotus feet constantly within their hearts. However, when persons who do not know your authority see you moving with they misunderstand you to be hasty. Or when they see you wandering in the crematorium, they mistakenly think that you are ferocious and envious. Certainly, they are shameless. They cannot understand your purpose. Lord Shiva taught me to Vaishnava. Vaishnava. It is therefore like Vaishnava Kriya Mudra. Mukhya Ujjaya. Even the most intelligent person cannot understand what the Vaishnava, like Lord Shiva is doing, is
Yeah,
acting.
still so many are there. I didn't
For the
remember.
desires and anger cannot estimate the glories of Lord Shiva.
Crowd safety
For this,
procedure, TP, all this.
in all the activities associated with the life, Lord Shiva is an implement of Krishna Rama. Ordinary persons therefore should not try to understand Lord Shiva and his one precise attribute of Lord Shiva.
Ouch.
Hare
So
Krishna
conclude.
Mataji. Yeah, I don't know where the noise is coming, Mataji. One second.
First, you can just click into the participants. Right side లో మీకు మ్యూట్ ఆప్షన్ ఉంటుంది 3 dots లో against the participants.
నేను చూస్తాను మాతాజీ.
Yeah, Mataji's. Yeah, Mataji will look into it. Sure, Mataji. Thank you. So, in this verse, now the next thing that is coming is that while Lord Shiva is being worshipped by so many exalted beings, they think he's an exalted Vaishnava, he's an exalted being, he's an avatar of the Supreme Lord. He's being worshipped, but he is actually Lord Shiva himself goes through a lot of austerity, and we don't see him in comforts, luxuries. We don't see him in one of those very exorbitant or opulent places or doing those such kind of things. He's generally in crematoriums, and he's with his people. People start trying to they misunderstand him more. That is, and his activities are not understood. So these are some things that is mentioned in this verse. It is very difficult to understand Lord Shiva, even with lot of intelligence or so-called material intelligence. I think one can easily misunderstand Lord Shiva, and they cannot understand his glories. So this is also an opportunity for Srimad Bhagavatam is actually glorifying the supreme is glorifying Lord Shiva, right? So otherwise he is also not understood well as to why he is doing what he is doing and his activities. Being with his consort, sometimes he is seen as lusty. For example, there was one I think is Maharaj Chitraketu. He sees Lord Shiva with Uma, and then he kind of disregards them. So as a result, he gets cursed. So it's common for even for the most intelligent or for anyone to misunderstand the Lord Shiva and his activities. But Lord Shiva is Atma Rama. He's very contented. He's very satisfied. So he doesn't get probably he is not looking out for these things. But then our understanding of Lord Shiva and his activities should be appropriate. We should not actually criticize or show any disregard, right? So, to such a great Vaishnava who has saved the world, by taking the hala hala kala kuta poison, and for such a great Vaishnava, any kind of disrespect or disregard is absolutely not warranted. And then. We can see Lord Shiva many times, that he easily gives benedictions. He's very pleased. He's Ashutosha. He's very pleased. He gives benedictions, and all this is happening. One devotee was mentioning that, to bring it in context. Morning we are in the temple, and our Siksha Guru is also come to do japa. We are also doing japa, and we are also seated there to do japa. And when we are seated there to do japa, if we are, instead of doing japa, instead of taking the advantage of having Siksha Guru nearby, Vaishnavas nearby, instead of doing japa, if we are asking, we are saying that we want to know where something is kept or what should be done. Though it might be related to service also at times, but that is a wonderful opportunity to actually take association of Siksha Guru, senior Vaishnavas. So instead, if we are trying to ask for other things, like people who are asking other benedictions from Lord Shiva because he gets easily pleased, it is an absolute waste. It is a waste because we are not able to effectively utilize that opportunity. So that is why when opportunity presents itself, we should know how to make best use of that opportunity, right? Like the association of devotees, and then. A lot of times this section is particularly in many ways it is glorifying Lord Shiva, and also in many other places we see the Supreme Lord worshipping Lord Shiva. One particular example is the worship of Lord Rama worships Lord Shiva at Rameshwaram, right? The Shivalinga is called Ramalingeshwara because he is worshipped by Lord Shiva. I think that's what he's addressed at Rameshwaram. He is worshipped by Lord Shiva is worshipped by Lord Rama. For many years, I had this question. We say the Supreme Lord is Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Then why the Supreme Lord is worshipping Supreme Lord? Lord Rama is Supreme Lord. He comes as Lord Rama, and then he is worshipping um, uh, Shiva in his linga form at Rameshwaram. So certain devotees told me certain explanations, which convinced me. One particular, and also later on, when I first met my spiritual master, he told me two specific reasons for it. That is what we see in this narration of Srimad Bhagavatam also. The first reason is that the Lord is extremely pleased when his devotees are glorified. So he himself is actually glorifying Lord Shiva to set an example, right? So that is
Can't hear you, Mataji.
I think
I
she
still
lost.
can't hear. Mataji, I missed everything. I can't hear.
Mataji, there is a
Krishna to be
outage, I
glorified.
guess. 1 second.
So that's one. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, we lost you for the last
Hare
minute or
Krishna.
so.
Mataji, can you hear me now? Hare Krishna.
We can hear you now. We just lost you for the last 1
Okay.
minute.
Mataji, is it with respect? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Is it
Lord
with respect to
Shiva.
the narration about Lord Ram worship? Mataji, can you just tell me till
Yes,
where
yes,
you could
whatever.
hear?
Yeah. I mean, when you said that how Guru Maharaj said how he likes the Lord likes to glorify his devotees. After that, you were kind of breaking, so I lost everything. Thank
Okay.
you.
So Maharaj said that it's actually the Lord likes to glorify his devotees. So by worshipping Lord Shiva, Lord Rama is setting an example how we have to worship, how we should be respectful, and how we should worship Lord Shiva. Just like in the case of Arjuna in Battle of Kurukshetra, the Lord takes the role of Sarthi. He has killed everyone actually, and he can actually kill everyone, but he takes the role of Sarthi. He takes the role of you know um, just to glorify Arjuna. So the same thing just happens when he is trying to worship Lord Shiva as Lord Rama at Rameshwaram. The second reason that I was told is that Lord Rama is worshipping Lord Shiva for atonement of killing a Brahmana. Ravana was a demon from his mother's lineage, but he was born to a Brahmana. His father was a Brahmana, and his mother was a demon. So Kaikashi was a demon, and his father was a Brahmana. So he is technically a Brahmana. So Brahmana Hatya is a very, very abominable offense. Even when the Lord descends as Lord Rama, and for re-establishing Dharma and for annihilating the wicked and protecting the righteous, even for him to set an example that Brahmana Hatya is not acceptable, the Lord worships Lord Shiva at Rameshwaram to show that this is a kind of an atonement I'm doing, because no one should kind of take this as an example or a precedence to kill Brahmanas. So this is this goes to show this is a very abominable activity, and it certainly needs atonement. So this is the second reason why the Lord worships Lord Shiva. So these are the reasons why Lord Shiva is worshipped by the Supreme Lord at various places. And at various places, Lord Shiva is worshipped before the Supreme Lord as the Kshetrapalaka. He is there as Kshetrapalaka. He is protecting the Dham. Just as in the Kirtan we sang, we also read that Gopishwara is there in Vrindavana to protect Vrindavana as the Kshetrapalaka, as a protector of the Dham, right? So that is the position of Lord Shiva. This is how we have to understand the whole context of worship or reverence to Lord Shiva without any disregard. Uh, and uh, and we should be very grateful at this particular section. And going further, we see how Lord Shiva takes in the entire poison within himself. And for whatever little poison that was left out, we see snakes, scorpions, toxic plants, and the poisonous things around us is because of the little poison that was left behind. But most of the poison the Lord Shiva takes, and he kind of contains it in his throat. That is why his Nilakanta, his throat turns bluish because the poison literally stopped there. And all glories to his consort, Srimati Umadevi, who was actually, she also uh, the act when Lord Shiva takes in the poison, right? So all glories to her for actually being for accepting it as much and much more to Lord Shiva for actually taking the poison and protecting everyone. Yeah, this is our discussion for today. If there are any questions, discussions, please ask.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. Wonderful session, Mataji. Thank you very much. Sujan. Wonderful session. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity, Prabhuji. Thanks to Shilpa Mataji.
There are so many points you have explained. Okay, how we should respect Lord Shiva. Okay. So many points. You glorified very well, Mataji. Very well. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you for the appreciation, Prabhuji. It actually comes from my own dilemma, my own confusion over many years that I had to understand how it is in the context, right? So as I grew up, I worshipped Lord Shiva. He was my resort. He was my protector and everything. And when I married Prabhuji, he said Krishna is the supreme Lord. Krishna is above Lord Shiva. First, it came as something I could not understand totally, because it is very contrary to my belief and what I've been practicing. So it came in like I wouldn't say a shock, but somewhere between a shock and a surprise. And I heard it, but I did not develop faith or belief in it. It took a while for me to actually realize, and through this process, I have realized how Lord Shiva is a very wonderful Vaishnava, but Krishna is the supreme Lord. And and when I reread these verses, I just read the translations first. it kind of felt again very conflicting until one reads through the purports and what Srila Prabhupada explains to uh, clear the confusion or any conflicting understanding on this. So it helped me, and yeah, today I feel very grateful to Lord Shiva to actually bringing me into Krishna consciousness, and that is how I've been guided to Krishna consciousness. Is my understanding when it comes to what I have been through, Prabhuji.
Bol Mataji, wonderful realizations, Mataji, from your personal life to you shared. Thank you much.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you all for attending. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Sucharita Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you for the opportunity and thank you for listening patiently. Yeah, as it is just spoken from whatever I have heard. And I tried my best, and hopefully, I have not said something which was out of what is coming from the parampara, from the reciprocal succession. I hope I try my best to do that. Hopefully, it doesn't. And thank you, everyone, for patiently listening. Thank you for the opportunity, Shilpa Mataji. Hare Krishna. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'll end the session here, Mataji. Thank you.
Sure, Mataji. Thank you.